The Super Mario movie has been out over a week now and it is worse than Captain Marvel, Thor Love and Thunder and The Last Jedi. According to the critics anyways. Which begs the question, can we trust modern critics? I think it's simple. Critics today are too woke orientated. And the new Super Mario film is just not woke. It has no political messaging, no race or gender swapping, and the protagonist is actually a competent male. And thank God that it's not. It is clear that this film was made like the ones in the good old days with the primary goal of just entertaining the audience. And it's clearly working with it having an amazing opening week and high audience scores. I can prove that critics focus more on the politics of the film rather than the film itself. Let's take a look at Captain Marvel. This film was awful. It was boring, predictable, but it has a rating of 79% on Tomatoes as of recording this video. What did this film have that Mario didn't? A woke message of women being amazing and better than men, and the critics loved it for just that. Don't believe me? Look at some of these reviews from the top critics. Captain Marvel has things going for it that elevate it a bit above the pack and provides more cultural oomph. Captain Marvel is a film you should be proud to let your children watch. It will inspire them to understand there should be no limits on what women can achieve. As a parent, I wish a film like this had been made when my daughter was young. In Captain Marvel, Brie Larson plays a woman who comes to learn that the most important power she possesses has been inside her all along. And these go on and on. No focus on the film, but instead of the message it was trying to show. Now, I'm not saying that trying to make a film to inspire people is bad. That'll be the only thing that makes a movie good. Just imagine the critics' score if the Mario movie kept to the lore and Mario had to rescue Peach instead of her being a badass in this film. At the time of recording this video, the Super Mario movie has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 56%, but an audience score of 96%. So, do the critics know what they are talking about? Or are they just out of touch with the rest of the world? The most popular criticism of this movie by the critics is that there is no plot. This makes it obvious that the majority of the critics have probably never played Super Mario. Super Mario is not like The Last of Us, where there is a deep, entertaining story that drives you to play the game. So why would you expect that from the film? The film stays loyal to its games by maintaining its simple premise throughout, even changing the trope of having to save the princess to instead saving his brother. Which takes us to the simple theme of this film, which is the importance of brotherly love. However, critics seem to ignore this completely, often stating that this film is just Easter eggs and nothing else. Yes, the plot and theme is very simple, but just because it is simple does not mean that it is bad. After all, this is just a kids' film, which means that the focus should be to make the film fun instead of meaningful. And boy, it is fun. The use of the music and small Easter eggs really create an accurate adaptation from the games that are just the beginning of more things to come. However, for some reason, in this movie the callbacks and it being safe and simple are a bad thing, according to the critics. However, these same critics were so impressed by The Force Awakens using the same plot points and references as it was the beginning of the new movies. So why is one film looked down on whilst another is applauded for it? Finally, can you really rely on accurate evaluations from people who have additional benefits depending on what they say? The most recent example of this was Amazon's Ring of Power, which has a critic score of, let me check, 83%. Wow, how has that happened? This thing is awful. Anyways, Amazon offered multiple critics and online personalities amazing experiences and gifts so that they can review their show and promote it. Now, I don't think you have to be Einstein to understand that to get these same benefits in the future, you probably can't say bad things about the show, which results in very biased opinions. But okay, not all films purchase all-inclusive holidays for its critics. But then you have to remember that these critics need clicks and attention to keep their jobs. So if a film is really liked by people and you write something negative about it, you'll have tons of people jumping to argue with you. I see the irony of me doing this in this video. You got me, critics, you got me. Even though you disagree with their views, they still benefit from the attention that they are receiving. So at the end of the day, the best thing you can do is form your own opinions, because you never really know what the motivation of the critic was.